I am proud of my country's heritage. We're living on freedom soil. Brave men have gone before me here, unafraid to pray and toil.
So, this is part 2. I'm going to tell you what government of the people means, or is, and then I'll show you where in the documents it comes from, where the idea came from, where the verbiage came from for government of the people, by the people, for the people. Government of the people is a very unique thing. We'll go through, if you have questions, and you will, just give yourself time to understand. Years ago I worked on telephones, old telephones, and one had 100 wires inside a little small telephone, relatively small. It was a business phone. Very confusing the first time I popped one open. They swirled around in there and had all different colors. In time, my mind got to the point I was very comfortable with that because I knew what they meant. I knew what I needed to concentrate. The brain is like that. When it starts to get something new, it can get like, I don't know, what's going on? You get a little freaked out. Well, a lot of this is going to be very new. Much of what has been taught over the years has very slowly been pushed away from what the Constitution actually is. A degree of twisting things, covering things over, so that people have been taught by people who have been taught by people who have been taught, all good people, but now you've gotten the point that really what we're talking about and saying this is the Constitution, you can do this, not at all. Not really what the Constitution says and means. Government of the people, okay, is that the people declare specifically, clearly, what the government can do. And then nothing else. The government can do nothing else but those specifically clear statements. You can do this. You are to do this. Do this. That's it. Nothing else. And all power in government of the people goes back to, is the people's power. We're simply having our servants use that power. You could think of it like the old European servants. You know, they had the lord and the lady, and they had a big house. And then they had footmen and they had butlers. They had a driver, you know. And the Lord would say, this is what I want done, and they would do it. They didn't tell the Lord, nor did they assume that now I've been told to do something that suddenly that's my power. So the driver says sometime, well, today I know you want to go here, but I'm going to take us here because I'm the driver. Yeah? The driver simply did what he was instructed to do because it was the Lord's power. The uniqueness, because that has existed throughout history and in all cultures, the uniqueness of our government was that the power remained to the people. We're the lords and ladies, so to speak. And then we tell the government, do this, and that's all they're supposed to do. And it's our power. It always stays our power. That's a part of government of the people. So we declared, and then we restricted. And those two words, declaration and restriction, will become very important as we go through the documents. And then we retain the power. And we use the words vest. We vest the power to the government. And, we have that on them. If you think of that old footman, they would give him an outfit to wear. They called it a livery. And that represented the house. It represented the Lord, the lady, the family. But it was put on them. Well, we're putting power on them. okay, in the same way that they represent us. Okay. It doesn't wholly go that way because our representatives are us, or should be us, under government of the people. Not the way it is today, but under the government of the people. So the people are the ones who declare and restrict. The power always remains to the people. If we want to add to the powers, or we want to take away powers, then we, the people, will vote. And we do this by way of the 5th article, is that right, of the Constitution. And in that, we will elect representatives, okay, to add or take away from the Constitution, or we'll use our already elected legislature, state legislature, to add or take away. And it will take 3/4 of all of the states agreeing that by this method to either add or take away. So that in basic is government of the people. We don't keep the restriction. In other words, the government is doing things that are not clearly stated in the Constitution for them to do. One thing to understand, constitutionally, and again, we'll go through this in the documents, but the whole thing is there are no inferred powers in the Constitution at all. There are no implied powers, and there are no broad powers. The words they use are clearly, particularly, and expressly. And this is what we give. We vest the powers on our government to do. They're clear. You can see them. It's absolutely there. There's no question about what it is. It's not inferred. Inferred is not clear. It's not implied, and it's not broad. It's basically particular. If you were on a beach and you just kind of got down to 1 grain of sand, very difficult to do. You just keep getting away till you get 1 grain of sand in the palm of your hand. Not the whole beach. It's not a bucket of sand. It's 1 grain of sand. That's a particle. That's what that word particular means. It's particle. The things that we're giving them are specific, you know. They're not broad. They're not clustered. It's clear, particularly, okay, given, and it's express. Mail, I guess, is not express. Used to be we had an express train years ago. And the express train went from one point to another. It didn't stop. It didn't make a bunch of stops. It was just to the point, see? It's straight to the point in a document so full of legalese that no one can understand it. This is not at all what it would be, the government of the people. This is the government of the people. Now we'll go through and look at the documents. I'm going to explain some other things starting out here just so we hopefully get start on the right foot. And we'll see how this works and how it's supposed to work. We'll see what we're not doing, and then we'll see, basically speaking, what we can do. At least the biggest key here is for you to know what's real about the Constitution, and you don't. And I apologize for this. You're mainly smarter than I am. You really are, most of you. It's been 50 years of study, and this is not my ideas. These are the ideas of the people who actually made our Constitution what it is. And again, we'll go through that and I'll show you that.
Yes, our God still bears his mighty arm when men to him are loyal. Yes, our God still bears his mighty arm when men to him are